Hey there, crafty pals, Louise with you today. Welcome along to a Scraptember share for 2024. Today's prompt is all about stitching, and I don't scrap myself very often, mainly because I'm just really bad at taking selfies. But when I do get one, it's often the one that I like to create something kind of pretty and girly and florally, and really just get all those pretty kind of elements onto a background page. So I'm going to start with this background patterned paper. This actually came from a Kitaholic Kits monthly kit. So I am a subscriber, and every month they send me these box full of goodies and I get to have a play with them. So I decide that I'm going to stitch this patterned paper background. So the first thing I'm going to do is, you can see I've cut my gold background layer, and then I want this to be a little bit smaller so that the gold just pops out the sides. I take my little pointing tool and make some holes, and then it's just a matter of sitting and stitching. Now, depending on how I'm feeling, sometimes I will just straight stitch, sometimes I will look up a different kind of stitch that gives me a little bit of texture online. So if you're looking for hints and tips about stitching, I would definitely suggest just checking out YouTube. There are lots of much more creative people than me out there that can show you how to do these stitches. And you can see that on the back, to help finish my stitches and just lock them all in place, I use a bit of washi tape. Now, I am at the moment, if you haven't seen any of my videos before and you're new here, welcome along, thanks for checking it out. But also, I very much like to use tacky glue whenever I am attaching elements. I'm finding that a lot of my layouts in my albums are not holding just with normal adhesive. So depending on what I'm sticking down, I will often use a little bit of tacky glue, particularly on textural elements or anything that's got a bit of mixed media. Paper to paper is generally pretty good, but sometimes it just needs that extra bit of glue to hang on to. Now, this is a photo I took of myself recently. It's not one of my favorite photos. You know how we all get. Sometimes we just don't like the way we look to ourselves. I feel like my face is a little bit wonky. I don't know if it's my glasses or my hair, but something's not quite right. Anyway, to make it more pleasing to Scrapbook and create this memory of myself, I decide that I am going to print it in black and white. So I find that not only does this give me a chance to use whatever elements, whatever pieces I've got, in this case some florals and some pretty pink backgrounds and some golds, I think it can sort of hide a few little imperfections, if I may. Yeah, when you print a black and white photo, you sometimes get a bit smoother skin appearance and less blemishes and things like that. So that's where I'm going with this black and white photo story. And honestly, one of my favorite things about Scraptember is my ability to bust my stash. So you guys, the girls at Scrappy Sisters, give us these prompts, in this case stitching, and I start with something in mind and roll with it. And then all of a sudden I'm pulling items out of my stash, things that maybe I've had there, like this thickest sheet that I bought, and I was like, wow, I love it, but really have hardly used it. You can see that there's quite a few left on there. And then pulling out from this box that I keep all my embellishments in, I have thoroughly enjoyed bashing my stash, but also having the ability just to scrap for fun. Sometimes I'm doing the Scrapbookers Journal, the bi-monthly Aussie digital magazine, so that takes up a bit of my time. Sometimes I'm doing design team commitments and working on my own YouTube channel. So this is really just about the fun of scrapbooking and stash busting. So I'm super glad that I played along this year. It is a lot of work, but I thoroughly enjoy watching other people's videos, so I try to make them as well. All right, so while I've been rambling, this video is finished. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please always leave a comment if you have anything that you'd like to tell me.